Oh, hello, Mike. There you are.
Hello. Welcome to the MichaelSisco show. And returning is my favorite Zionist, Brother Augustine, Michael Witcoff. Welcome back.
Thank you. I cannot wait to promote Israel and the importance of our Judeo-Christian values and democracy here on your channel.
Yeah, well, it's my honor. My honor.
I
Always
bet.
good to give a little to my benefactors and pay homage.
Well,
So
as
now
someone
that
running for office, I mean, obviously you're in our pocket, right?
of course, can't turn it down. You
No,
gotta win. You gotta
that's
win. You
right.
gotta play the game. Gotta play the game. But
Well,
yeah, we're early.
Netanyahu thanks you for your service.
Well, he lost, so I can't.
Oh,
Who's
that's
the
right.
new
He's
guy?
out. I don't know.
Who's the new guy?
I barely pay attention to our politics, much less Middle Eastern politics.
I don't know. Some of those, like the vaccine stuff. There's a lot of resistance in Israel, and
Is there?
they're making
Well,
it
yeah.
mandatory for like everything. I'm like, so who do I stand with?
Well, it's like the Ben and Jerry situation where they've been shilling for wokeness all these years, but now that they're not selling in Israel, now the Republicans are angry at them, right? But I wasn't eating it anyway because I already didn't like their politics.
But aren't they owned by Jewish people?
Yes, that's the real irony. But they're the kind of Jewish that's like leftist woke Jewish, where they're so against colonialism and quote racism. I mean, it is colonialism and racism to some extent. What's happening to the Palestinians out there? So they're against that, even though. Even my own brother, one of my brothers at least, is not a Zionist. Obviously, I'm not a Zionist. Not all Jews are into Zionism. It's like a different degrees. It's like a scale of what sort of things people are into. So it's a little internecine warfare going on with the Ben and Jerry's people, I suppose.
Interesting. I don't like their ice cream, anyways. Honestly,
I don't eat ice cream in general, so I don't really have a dog in the fight either way.
I love me some Dairy Queen, bro. Get me getting a Blizzard. With the cotton candy blizzard is where it's at. So you say you don't eat ice cream, but we're gonna have to get you with that cotton candy blizzard, bro.
Well, not on a Friday at the very least. Not on a Friday.
And for those watching, I have zero plan for this show. Literally, I just turned the camera on and hey, Brother Augustine.
Yeah, I wasn't even invited. I just found the link on the internet and showed up.
I know. That's a nice stash you got going on there, man.
Thank you. It's been I've been doing the Tsar Nicholas style with it. Instead of having it down like the Lorax, I have it off to the sides. Like,
I should do that.
It's pretty cool. I like it. It's royal. It's noble, And since it's a different color at the ends,
do you use like wax or something for it? Or
sometimes, but not right now. No, I was just in the pool a second ago, so there's a little moisture for me to shape it with. Sometimes I do beard balm, but it's not really necessary.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Dr. Klaus Schwab says just 9 people. Well, that's how it be sometimes, bro. It's not a whatever. Oh, we're up to 13 now.
Nice, nice.
Where are the ortho bros? They're probably watching like Nick Fuentes or something.
Maybe.
That's what I usually do around this.
I haven't watched them in a long time, honestly.
John MC says Ben and Jerry ice cream makers / sellers, only ice cream company I've heard of that has a foreign policy platform.
Well, the weird thing is they're a subsidiary of Unilever, which owns like half of our products, half of our basic commodities. So I don't know if their Unilever boss is going to be thrilled with what they're doing, or if they're on board with it and all their other companies are going to do this. I mean, I just kind of don't care either way. Like I said, I'm no dog in this fight. Don't eat ice cream, usually. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Really, it's just Gab where people are talking about being upset at them. So,
hey, Gab, we have DMs now.
We do. They used to have DMs, and I didn't know what happened to them. One day they had them, one day they didn't, and then they didn't have it for like 2.5 more years or 2 years or something, and now they're back. So I don't know why they ever got taken down.
Weird.
Yeah, I'm glad they're back though.
I don't know. It's kind of nice because, it's easy to get in touch with people that I want to get in touch with that aren't necessarily on Twitter anymore. So
yeah, true enough.
So,
There's some good
anyways,
Twitter accounts, though. I found a Twitter account. I don't have Twitter, but I saw an account yesterday called Cursed Protestant Nonsense that has a lot of pretty funny stuff on it.
yeah. My Twitter's blown up quite a bit, so I'm.
I mean, your Gab is too. Andrew Torba retweets you all the time.
It's been a little. Well, yeah, there was like a whole week where he was reposting every. Like he wasn't stopping, and then I got up to 1,300 people, and then it kind of evened out. But yeah, it was good to see you at the Trad Forum, bro. Good to see
It was a wildly successful event.
Ah, thank you.
I mean, it really couldn't have gone any better, honestly. I know you were getting frustrated with me wanting to get started, but I was ready to go, man. I was ready to go. Michael Jones was, what, 40 minutes late? I was like, well, he's talking last anyway, so let's just get started. I'm sure he'll get here by the time it's his speech.
Yeah.
But everyone loved it. Everyone had a great time.
I think I caught the least of your speech. I mean, of all the speeches, I didn't catch much of yours because I was in the back, like waiting, like pacing back and forth, like, where's Dr. Jones?
Yeah. Well, it is available on Gumroad if you want to re-listen to it.
I also have the copy of it. But
that's true. You sent me the video, didn't you?
But I could support you and go pay.
Whatever happened to the Q&A, by the way?
I just
because I know that was filmed too.
Yeah. Well, we're editing me out of it, and I think that's kind of what's taking a long time.
Why is that?
Just for the campaign.
Oh.
Some of the moments with the certain, Dr. Jones, it's like, well, maybe this isn't the most convenient thing to have out there.
Gotcha. So, frankly, I was upset when I got my video that the clip of me punching the pinata wasn't there. That was a pretty good punch. I sent that thing flying. I hope that would be a good, strong opening to my video.
Let me see if we might have. I'll ask him if we have the footage of the punches, and then
okay.
You can just do what you want with it.
Yeah, I'll just edit it onto my talk. My next talk, I actually have not started writing yet, even though it's in a week from today. So I will be spending most of next week. I mean, I have a busy week next week, honestly, but I will be spending a fair amount of time doing that. It'll be a different topic than last one. Yeah, Fed post. There wasn't too much Fed posting at the Q&A at the event.
No, it was fine. It was
yeah. And I got to meet Based Homeschool Mom, who was just on my channel a few days ago. She's writing a book I'm very excited about, The Occult Roots of Feminism. Can't wait to read it, review it on my show. Met a lot of people there. So I don't know if you know this, but the author whose pseudonym is Ryan Landry was there.
Yes. I did not know that was him, but I knew it was I knew he was associated with the American Sun because he came up and asked me if he wanted to take a few articles down. Yeah,
that was him. But I was asked not to share his secret identity. So I won't say who he was, but you met the guy who used that pseudonym.
Yeah.
And there was that famous guy showed up too, that famous actor and musician that I didn't know when I was talking to him. It wasn't until I Googled him later. I was like, oh, this is like a pretty famous guy, Charlie Mars.
I hung out with him at the bar a little bit, so that was cool. Cool dude. What
bar did you guys end up at? Because we couldn't find anything open in the whole town. We got to like Little Caesars with 5 minutes left, and we were just like, give us a pizza. We're hungry. We need to eat right now.
We went to some place like 20 minutes out of the way.
Oh, gotcha.
It was a little dive bar. It was fun. Yeah. It was good. You could smoke in it. And we walk in with a bunch of suits, and the locals, like, their eyes like open up. But I think we gave them plenty of business for the night, more than they
it sounds like it. Do you think you're going to do it again, like a annual thing?
Oh yeah. So here's my plan. I plan to basically start a nonprofit for the purpose of facilitating maybe even more events, but just getting the traditional, kind of engaging the culture with it. In the beginning, just kind of facilitating the events, and then maybe other forms of advocacy in some sense. So,
well, someone on Gab I know you were in contact with, a guy who was very interested in the trad forum, who has quite a big following, could be a good bridge to the normie world.
He hasn't He hasn't
Oh
responded
no.
yet.
Oh no.
He texted me, and then that was it. And then like when they respond and then they stop whatever.
Bummer. Well,
I'll
maybe as it gets
follow.
closer. Yeah, maybe as it gets closer. I mean, I hope my beard looks like his beard someday. So he's a beard role model to me.
Yeah, but that's my plan. I plan to just make a little. That way, if I can raise money beforehand, we can kind of take it up to the next level. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And then we can maybe make it a little better production. I mean, it was great. It was actually exceeded my own expectations,
Oh, good.
but I think we can do better, and if we're able to raise money for it, we
You
can
mean like
pay people.
sending people to the right address next time, for example?
Hey, that was kept
Instead of
Antifa.
some random house up the road.
Antifa was at that house. They
Oh, I
went
bet.
there. They went there.
I bet.
Apparently, there are so many ortho bros streaming tonight, so we've got competition.
On Friday? I don't think anyone streams on Friday normally,
I
do
don't
they?
know. Ray, who else is streaming? Ray Santos.
I mean, Luke's not streaming at all. Chael Sonnen's putting out videos like that he always does, but he's not an ortho bro. Yeah, I don't know. I don't think DPH does Fridays, does he?
I think he does do Fridays, but he's usually earlier on a Friday.
Oh, let me see. Is he streaming right now? No.
Nick is Nick is on, but it's Vincent James hosting.
Oh, gotcha. Well,
Yeah.
we don't need to worry about what Catholics are up to anyway.
I love Vincent James. He's a good friend of mine. So.
Well, we might be getting an influx of converts now that Pope Francis has suppressed the traditional Latin Mass, which is the reason that half of their converts joined in the first place, and now it's taken away from them.
Yeah, it's true. Okay, so Tristan, Bible Answer Man, Jay. I don't know who half these people are.
Bible Answer Man is HandCash. Tristan is Primal Edge Health. I don't know who Orthodox Christian Theology is. Bible Answer Man was a big Protestant before he became Orthodox. He did a video with Francis Chan semi-recently, a big evangelical mega pastor who has been reading the church fathers recently and discovering, hey, what we're doing is absolutely nothing like what the ancient church used to do. He has a video about communion that I put up on my channel once upon a time. Craig Trulia is Orthodox Christian Theology. Oh, I've heard that name before. I've never talked to the guy, though.
Well, hey, I think we're doing, if it's really this heavy traffic, I think we're doing all right with we have like 19, 20, whatever.
Yeah.
Whatever. That's like a normal day for me. So
well, ask me something interesting so we can keep them around and give
So what's going on? Why don't you tell us what is Montanica? What's happening with Montanica?
So Montanica is an event put on by Father Deacon Ananias Sorum, who in his outside life is Professor Eric Sorum, a philosophy professor. His YouTube channel is the Norwegian News. He's putting on this big event at Carroll College in Helena, Montana, with a bunch of Orthodox speakers. There were about twice as many invited as ended up going, at least from the original list. You were invited, of course. Rush V was invited. Luke Kendra was invited. Father John Valdez was invited. I'm not sure what the final list is because we were trying to get Father Zechariah Lynch from the Inkless Pen to come as well. But as of this moment, at the end of July, next weekend, really, I'll be speaking. Father Deacon will be speaking. Jay Dyer will be speaking. David Patrick Harry will be speaking, along with whoever else he gets there. And the whole weekend is full of different activities as well. There's like brewery tours and a hike on Mount Helena. And so basically, it's going to be, so here's my title for the event, which is not the official title, even though frankly, I think it should have been. My title for the event was Modern Threats to the Ancient Church, which I think sounds great. He named it something else about various like things that are challenges for orthodoxy in the modern world, or something that not quite the same power to the title, I don't think. But we're all going to be talking about different topics. So Patrick Harry is going to be talking about similar stuff to what he spoke about at the Trad Forum, for what I understand. I think Jay is going to talk about Islam. I'm going to be talking about Freemasonry, which I haven't spoken about in a long time. I think my video with Alex Covell was the last time I talked about Freemasonry in depth. So basically talking about what Masonry is, effects that it's had on Christianity, what the purpose of all heresy is, and then all of that, of course, derives from what the purpose of the human life is in God that it's trying to distract us all from. So there's a lot more topics involved than just Freemasonry. But these are all things, heresies, other religions, all things that threaten the salvific path that we are called to. Because like I wrote in my book on Masonry, the devil does not need to be worshipped to win. He just needs you not to worship God. So if the devil can get you to be a Muslim or a New Ager or a Freemason, he's got you, right? You don't have to be a devil worshiper. You just have to not be a worshiper of Christ, or an Easter worshiper, as the media might refer to them. So we're going to talk about all those different things. And I know very little about Islam's theology beyond that it's a Unitarian kind of thing. So, I mean, I'm expecting to learn a lot from Jay. It's hard to listen to him talk without learning something, right? Guy's got a lot of stuff going on in his head, a lot of material. I don't remember, or maybe even didn't know what Father Deacon's talk is going to be about. I assume it will be philosophy related. This will be my second public speaking since my bar mitzvah way back in the day. Trad Forum was the first time in 10 years that I'd done public speech. But I think it should go well. We're going to have, I think, about 80 people in the room, it looks like. So similar audience size, maybe a little bit bigger to what we had at the Trad Forum. Some people will be there that were also at the Trad Forum. Pano, one of the mods on my channel, I believe, will be there. You met him at the Trad Forum. And I don't know if you know this. So after the Trad Forum, me and Brittany and Pano and Arush went to go to a church in northern Indiana that ended up being closed. The priest was at some other church. So we were Googling churches in the area, and what we found was a Ukrainian Orthodox church that was under Patriarch Bartholomew. So we didn't know if this was a canonical church or a schismatic church. We had no idea. But we decided to go anyway, and they had a bunch of Western icons on the wall, almost like a Ukrainian Greek Catholic mixture of things, some Western icons, some Eastern icons. The priest was sitting down in a chair throughout the service, because it turned out he was really sick. But, we walked in, we see it's like a bunch of people in their 70s and 80s wearing masks, a strange mix of icons, a priest just sitting down. But ended up, I think, being canonical, but I still am not entirely sure. And the priest turned out to be a monk who lived right up the, like, maybe 100 feet from the church, a very old guy. He had a cane. And he was all like zonked out on pain medicine because he was so sick during his sermon. So the sermon was kind of funny, but also kind of touching. And then when we all had breakfast together after the service, he looked at Rush and he said, "You could be a Jewish rabbi or a Russian Orthodox priest." And Rush said, "I'll take the Russian priest. Thank you." But Father Lev was that monk's name. A cool guy, good sermon. So that was kind of the end of the Trad Forum experience, just going to this random church. We had no idea if it's schismatic or not, whether the Ukraine schism affected churches under Bartholomew in America that weren't Go Arch, all kinds of crazy stuff. But yeah, it was great. And if we do it again in the same place next year, which I hope we do, I will stay at the same hotel. And the only difference will be picking a place to go hang out afterwards ahead of time, so we don't have to all scramble, meet at a closed bar like we all did at 10 at night, realizing nothing was open, calling Applebee's, begging them to stay open for an extra hour. Besides that little scramble, yeah, everything I think we should be done the same way.
Did you think it should be, because I did a poll, so the in the room poll, everyone was in favor of doing it at the same location again.
I thought it was perfect. Yeah.
But I also have a castle in West Virginia.
That is a nice sales pitch too. A castle. It's hard to say no to a castle. Have you been to the castle?
I have.
Is it cool?
Yeah. I'd say, I don't want to say who owns it.
I know who owns it.
Yeah. Okay.
I won't say it. But it's cool.
Yeah. I just had dinner with this person too last week.
How did you get a castle?
They just bought it. They're,
Radix says West Virginia. Well,
that's because that's kind of what I figured. I figured everyone that was there, that was obviously convenient for them in some capacity.
I think we should do one at the castle, and then we can decide, which one is better, or maybe switch off years so people in half the country can go, or the other half if they don't want to fly. I mean, people drove like 10 hours to get there the first time.
That's true.
So it'd be nicer to people on the East Coast if we do the castle instead. Radix, why aren't you coming to Montana? You're welcome to come.
Yeah, Radix. Why aren't you coming?
Yeah. Hey, you're not coming either. You can't talk.
I might be the surprise. Who knows?
Is there a surprise?
I heard that there will be surprise speakers.
Hmm. So we got a question here. It says, which Orthodox diocese is most based? So a survey came out today on orthochristian.com talking about COVID's effect on various parishes in terms of parishioners that fell away, money raised or lost, and even clergy that considered leaving the priesthood over it. ROCOR blew away the Greek Church and the OCA on literally every metric. They lost the fewest parishioners. They closed the fewest parishes. The smallest percentage of priests considered leaving. Over a third of OCA priests in this survey considered leaving the priesthood over COVID. I couldn't believe it was that high. Couldn't believe it. So I would say in that regard, at least, ROCOR is the most based of the ones named.
Yeah, what I really found interesting from that study was that the churches that remained open without the restrictions actually had the least COVID deaths and the least hospitalizations from COVID.
And they actually got more money in donations than they got the year before. And my parish was the same way. They never gotten as many donations as they did during 2020.
Which is interesting because it was basically, remember my petition where I said, let's support the parishes that stay open.
Yeah.
And it's exactly what happened. And they grew. And then eventually most of them lifted the restrictions right around Pascha.
Well, I think we're going to roll into another round of lockdowns in the next few months. So we'll see what happens. I know, at least in the Antiochian Archdiocese, I know the bishop, Metropolitan Joseph, has forbidden his parishes from being closed again completely. I would imagine that the Greek parishes are going to do the same thing with just full masking, no touching the icons. We'll see. We'll see who learned and who didn't. And I don't know if the clergy that did all this will ever realize, how much damage they've caused to the church, to parishioners, to inquirers. Because I get messages all the time from people saying, hey, I wanted to join Orthodoxy. I went to this parish, but there were a bunch of masks. So I can't believe that they have the real faith. How could they have the real faith if they're all wearing masks? So, they're really causing a lot of harm to people's souls, the people that do all this kind of thing. And they're the ones that have to answer for it too on Judgment Day. All these bishops are going to answer for every single soul that they harmed spiritually by imposing these restrictions or by scaring away inquirers.
Yeah, I just remember I had never gone without the Eucharist that long since becoming Orthodox. It was maybe because I was in Delaware when it first all went down, so I didn't have access to a church that was open. And then when the one that was near me finally opened with their crazy restrictions, I was just happy to have the Eucharist. Honestly, I was like,
well, that's the point of it, right? As based as ROCOR is in surveys, not every parish is equally based, because a local ROCOR parish that you would think it's all in Slavonic, it's all ethnic Russians, they started serving communion off of a tray for individuals to take off of the tray. Like the worst abuse of the communion that I've even heard of in Orthodoxy. Multiple spoons, okay, that's not traditional. That's still a far cry from here. You take this off the tray yourself. Your unholy hands will serve communion. That's really bad.
That's crazy. But hey, let's get a preview of your speech topic. Look, the only reason somebody made a comment about Hank Hanegraaff maybe having some ecumenistic tendencies.
Oh, for sure.
That got my head spinning.
Yeah.
I know that a lot of some of the influence of ecumenism in the church has been linked to Freemasonry.
Yeah.
Can you speak to that at all?
Sure. So in my book on the Masons and their lies, I mentioned 4 main tactics, if you will, that Satan uses through the vehicle of Freemasonry to pull souls away from truth. One of those 4 tactics is perennialism, which you will find in the writings of every 33rd degree Freemason I've ever seen, whether it's Albert Pike or J.D. Buck or Manly P. Hall. And the dogma of perennialism basically says all exoteric religions are just different expressions of the same one esoteric truth. So Islam is the expression of that truth for that people in that time period, Christianity for this people, this time period, Judaism for this and this, yoga for this and this. And it's incredibly stupid because all that means is they've never actually studied any of these belief systems in depth. There's no equivalence between, say, Orthodox Christianity and Buddhism. There are some superficial similarities in the ascetic practices, right, of the monastic practices, like not being attached to the world, or in some cases with the hesychasts doing certain breathing practices. But the purpose is different. The understanding of God is different. The understanding of the human being is different. So they all say this, but none of them can prove it, right? All these men that are supposedly geniuses, and I mean, when I say genius, I mean that in the ancient Greco-Roman sense, like there's a spirit in them, there's a demon in them. That's what the genius means. It's like jinn, right? The Islamic jinn and genius are words that come from the same root. These geniuses like Albert Pike are all very invested in convincing people that all religions are the same, but they can't prove it because it's complete nonsense. It's incoherent. But the appeal of it, I think, is that it appeals to people's intellectual pride and superiority, and makes people feel that if they believe this, they're like above the plebeian understanding of these little peasants that don't really get the true depth of what the religion is really trying to teach, right? Like if you believe in all the Christian dogmas, well, you don't get what Jesus was really teaching, right? That was reserved for the secret elect, like the elect within the elect, that he only spoke to a few people, like you only find in the Gnostic God. I mean, it's all garbage. But that is kind of the occult root of ecumenism, is perennialism. So ecumenism takes that same idea and then kind of extrapolates it to an exoteric sense as well, in which every group calling itself Christian is really all kind of the same. And the way that they, and Hank Hanegraaff has said this before, at least it's on the wall behind him in some of his videos. I don't know if he still believes it, now he's Orthodox. But the big phrase I'll use is unity in essentials and diversity or liberty in non-essentials. Now that, of course, begs the question, well, who gets to decide what's essential? So as with all forms of Protestantism and schism and heresy, it always comes back to a question of authority, right? Who has the authority to interpret this religion? Who has the authority to teach about it? Who has the authority to define what's part of it and what isn't? And so ecumenism is really just this spirit of democracy where everybody who's well-meaning kind of gets the same authority to decide what's essential or what's not. So if I were to say to one of these people, what are the essentials we agree on? They would not agree that the presence of Christ in the Eucharist is essential, when of course it's the essential, right? It's the foundation of our services and our life in Christ as the sacraments. They would call that non-essential. So they would say, well, the essential is we believe in Jesus, but sacraments, worship, this is all the non-essentials, which is of course completely foreign to the historic understanding of Christianity. You won't find any church fathers talking about unity in essentials. Valentinus and Basilides, these Gnostics, they believe in Jesus, right? They say his name. So, we're kind of all part of the same big club. They would never in a million years say that. So it's partially the spirit of democracy, partially the spirit of pride, where every Protestant, like St. Justin Popovich says, Protestants rejected the Pope so that they could all be their own Pope instead. 100% true. So the spirit of ecumenism, and it's tricky because you have to have a balance between speaking to people in a way that doesn't turn them off of orthodoxy, like Protestants, Catholics. There's a differing level of severity and gentleness depending on the person and what they're saying, what they're asking. So you don't want to just like be triumphalist at people, right? That doesn't work. It doesn't convert them. There's a way to speak the truth in love that draws people in rather than pushes them away. So you have to be balanced and nuanced with this stuff, which is why, like I said on my stream last night, people that do not have a blessing to do apologetics should not be doing it, because that balance is hard enough as it is, especially if you're not someone who's been trusted by your priest to do it. But ecumenism has infected certainly large parts of the church. I understand the appeal of it, right? You want to be nice and inclusive. You don't want anyone to feel like they're being excluded. The problem is if you have errant dogma, you're going to have errant spirituality too. Like Father Peter here says, like St. Sophrony of Mount Athos said, or of Essex, I think he's called St. Sophrony of Essex, but was an Athonite monk. So you can't really separate the dogmas from the effect on the soul. Like in theory, there's no tension between them, even though in reality, sometimes people focus too much on one to the exclusion of the other. Ray says, is it ecumenist that I don't want a beard? Absolutely. Anathema. Anathema. We are not, quote, Roman Catholics.
Hey, so when I went to get my 33rd degree, and they give you the final word, the word, it's filioque. It's filioque. It's filioque.
That's the lost word. It's filioque.
The lost word.
That's amazing. I knew a bunch of 33rd degree Masons, friends with them. Some of them are actually pretty conservative, believe it or not. Some quite reactionary. But I have no idea what they do there. I saw the 32nd degree. It was a lot of nonsense and then some lower tier nonsense. I don't know what they do in the 33rd degree, but I think they're probably right. They probably teach the filioque, the ultimate satanic heresy, the lost word.
The filioque.
Yeah. When the filioque first started going around in Spain, it was Rome that rejected it, ironically.
Yeah. Well, Rome was for a long time a bastion of orthodoxy against the heretics.
Yeah. It was the Pope that fought hardest against infallibility when that doctrine first started going around too, in the 13th century, 12th or 13th century. It was the Franciscans pushing it and the Pope fighting against it. So they have all these innovations. And quote, Roman Catholicism is frankly indefensible. We know that all these papal powers are based on forgeries. This is not a secret anymore. The donation of Constantine, the pseudo-Isatorian decretals. The problem is once they were exposed as forgeries, they didn't disabuse themselves of the powers these forgeries had given to them because they really like it. Power, people like it. It's hard to let go of sometimes, oftentimes. But I don't know how you could study history in an open-minded, genuine way. Michael Welton wrote a book called Two Paths. I reviewed it on my channel. Luke Kendrat reviewed it on his channel. Really just lays it all out. It's a short book. It's an easy read. You just see right in front of you, most church fathers did not agree with the things that popes claim were always understood from the beginning. Most of them disagreed with some of those things.
Yeah,
we know that the Bishop of Rome, the territorial jurisdiction was limited of all the bishops. Pope St. Gregory the Great said, whoever calls himself universal bishop is a precursor to the Antichrist. So it's not like we don't have the records of this. It's that Catholics either don't read this stuff or they just lie about it when they come across it, unfortunately.
Yeah. It's true, and they might as well just replace their traditional Latin Mass with Masonic rituals. What's the opening and closing of the lodge?
Oh, that's right. The prayer to the great architect.
The great architect of the universe.
Yeah. That is the ultimate ecumenism, right? We're all really praying to the same God anyway. They don't care what Bible or what book you take your oaths on. I took my first degree oath on the Tao Te Ching. They don't care. As long as you have some book on the altar. Yeah.
What's your obligation? Only few people will understand that joke. But
that's right. The sharp instrument upon the point of the breast and whatnot.
Yeah.
Or whatever that whole speech was.
It's all funny, kind of looking back on it.
Yeah.
It's just goofy, honestly.
People think that it's more sinister. Like the sinister rituals is not in Masonry. It's in the darker satanic stuff. But the Luciferian ideology is absolutely there. People, even on Jesse Lee Peterson's show, one caller called in and said that every Mason has to kill a family member to join. I said, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. People say that stuff so that any other criticism of Masonry is automatically rejected as being as stupid as that. This is a tactic that they use, right? But if anyone tells you something like that, they're completely wrong. Yeah. But if the Pope someday replaces the traditional Latin Mass with the burial of Hiram Abiff, I won't be entirely surprised, frankly.
Yeah, and I only did the Blue Lodge. I never did any of the appendant body stuff. So except I did get involved in Rosicrucianism.
Yeah, me too.
And then I kind of it's like I went backward. I went from the high Western occultism and then just worked my way down to the folk stuff.
Yeah.
And then finally, thank God, found orthodoxy. So
Amen.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about stuff like that. And, it's funny. I can do a stream for 2 hours without losing a step of my energy or what I'm talking about. But it takes me a week to write a 20-minute speech.
It's different, man. It's a totally different transition from
really is.
the live streaming to a speech. It's because this like oratory is an art. It has
Yeah.
to be. Our good uncle painter man talked about this, but he was right. He's right. It's the most powerful mover of men.
Speeches or
oratory.
Yeah.
Oratory.
Well, St. Augustine wrote a whole book defending the use of rhetoric in preaching. It's the 4th book of his Christian doctrine book.
Yeah.
So basically, his argument was, if the pagans are going to study rhetoric and the preachers are not, then you're basically just giving them your parishioners because they're going to be more interested about what the pagans are saying. Because people were saying at the time, well, rhetoric is a pagan thing. You know, Cicero and whatnot wrote it. I mean, Augustine studied Cicero a lot, obviously. So he wrote a whole book defending the use of proper rhetoric, or what we might call NLP in the modern world, because it is important, and it does inspire people, and it convicts them, and it gives them hope, it gives them fear. It really does make a big difference.
Yeah.
Tatiana
You just have
says
to.
her husband has a shirt just like this. This is I think it's Pro of Thieves. This shirt, like a bunch of raccoons for the logo.
Which one is she talking? Is she talking to me or you?
Oh yeah, that's a good question. I forgot. We got 2 Michaels. Probably you.
Because this is sold at Walmart, so it's possible. It's
the fancy stuff. Yeah.
You know, we're fancy here. But
so I'm gonna be doing the first speech as well. I like going first, not for prideful reasons, but because I have enough nerves as it is doing public speaking. I don't need to just wait for hours to get to mine. Oh, it was about your shirt, not mine. So yeah, it should be fun. I think we're splitting out the talks over a couple different days. Friday and Saturday, if I remember the schedule correctly. I've never been to Montana before, so it should be a good time. Yeah, where are your pit vipers, Mike? Come on.
I'm waiting for the Nick Fuentes edition. They're going to be selling their own version.
I bet they are.
Yeah, so, you know, got to support my heretic friends, okay?
Yeah. I was so sad he didn't make it to Trad Forum. I suspected he wasn't going to make it, even though he told Luke he was going to come. I mean, he wasn't that far away. I drove out from Chicago, too.
He's been extremely busy lately, so I kind of get it. I kind of suspected it was like a 50-50 toss-up for me. So, but it would have been cool to have him, but, you know, whatever.
Yeah, it happens.
I see him periodically. So.
Oh, you do?
Well, like, when's the last? I saw him at AFPAC 2. And then he always comes over and talks to me, which is cool.
Oh, good.
It's like,
yeah, so he knows you.
Yeah, and DC at the Stop the Steal rallies, we even had lunch at Five Guys. So,
see, I'm not really a Five Guys fan. Everyone loves it. I'm an In-N-Out guy.
Yeah, I don't really like it either. It just was where we all went to eat that day.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll run into him. Maybe he'll come to the castle.
Have you had Culver's yet?
Yeah, I've had Culver's. They have the butter burger, right?
Yeah. What do you think? It's like my favorite. So you cannot.
Can't insult it. That's heresy.
Don't insult it.
I mean, the only fast food I really eat is In-N-Out, maybe once every few months, and I like to have a California burrito every once in a while too. No, it's not. They have Bible verses on the cups. I believe it's a Greek Orthodox owner, yeah. Or is it Mormons? Really? Maybe it's Chick-fil-A that has a Greek Orthodox owner.
Ray's the gay guy because he likes Five Guys. When you like a place called Five Guys, that's pretty gay.
So Steak and Shake is absolutely the best. Peter is right. They don't have it in California though, so I never get to eat it.
I do like Steak and Shake, but
it's the best.
But it's not.
Their fries are the best.
It's not as good as Culver's.
Well, that's fake news, but it's okay.
Nah. But you know. So who else is Well, here's a question. How do people get their tickets to go to the event?
So I've been shilling the link. Jay has done. I don't think Patrick Harry has promoted it at all, as far as I've been able to tell. Orthodox. I think it's called Orthodox Montanica, or is it the Orthodox Academy? Let me check real quick. I think it's the orthodoxacademy.com, which is a big website we're going to be starting up soon. It's going to have some really cool stuff.
I think I'm going to be on it too.
I think you are going to be on it. Let me see if I'm getting the. Let's see.
I'm trying to pull it up.
I'm pretty sure there was a Montanica website, but we don't have that many tickets left. So if you want to come, now is the time to do it. So it's the orthodoxacademy.com / let me see. Oh, I can't see the full URL on my phone.
Maybe I'm just going to Google Montanica and see what comes up.
I don't know why it's not showing me the full URL. But there are links on my community tab on my YouTube channel. I know last time I posted it, I think we had 25 tickets left. So there are probably still some left at the moment. I don't know how many. But it should be good. It should be good. Yeah, all David has said is he's going to be there. Well, why is he not promoting it then? Who's he going to talk to? An empty room? Come on, guy.
Oh well. I tried to bring him on the stream too, but he's like, "Oh, I'm going to I don't want to say.
He did promote it.
Going somewhere." I think he talked about it with somebody.
Yeah. Someone's saying he does promote it. Oh, they do have Steak and Shake. Oh, in Santa Monica. Well, that's a bit far from where I'm at. Yes, Montanica is taking place in Grizzly Country for sure. Father Deacon and I has posted a funny picture of him with a gun, like a bear gun. Let me see if I can find it. I'll show you guys.
Well, why don't we? You're only on Gab, right?
Yep, Gab and YouTube. But I might, as much as it hurts me to say this, I might get back on Facebook just to promote my channel and try and grow the platform a little bit more. Even though I despise Facebook and just really not a fan. Oh yeah, it's theorthodoxacademy.com / Montanica is the website. Yes, I am on Gab at Brother Augustine. The name is Michael Witcoff on Gab.
This isn't working for me.
Really?
Yeah, I'm gonna try and post it.
Here's a nice photo of Father Deacon Ananias in his grizzly hunting gear.
He's
got a shotgun. He's got a shotgun and a hunting rifle in that picture.
I wish I could make it because it'd be nice to meet him in real life and Jay.
Well, he used to live nearby me, so I met him in person out here on the West Coast before he moved away. I met Jay before in person, but brother Ray says, Brother Oxley, how much anti-Semitism do you receive on Gab? That's what I get attacked for more than anything is my ethnicity, certainly. So I've noticed something. There's this group of, quote, Catholics that call themselves Sedevacantists. I'm sure you've heard of them. Every single one of these people I've ever interacted with, and this is going to sound very uncharitable, but they all have the same personality disorder. They're all extremely hostile. They tend to be foul-mouthed, and they're all liars. It's the weirdest thing. I've never met a group of people before that everyone I've ever interacted with is a liar. But when they are attacking me on Gab or on the Roosh V forum, they like they just said the orthosphere is funded by the state of Russia, was a recent accusation. Like Putin is asking me and you for our PayPal address. Like, hey, make video about Catholic. Like, this is not happening. So they'll say stuff like this that's just completely absurd. And I don't know why they're all like this. But I've had some of them attack me as well for my ethnicity as well as for being Orthodox. But I don't really care, because the kind of people that will rant on the internet about, all Jews are this and we must eradicate and blah, blah, blah. Like, I know in person, the guys typing that would not even be able to hold my eye contact. Like, these guys would wilt like flowers. The tougher someone talks on the internet, the more of a beta they are in real life, as a general rule. I'm sure there are exceptions. But when people talk like that, I know what they are. And so it doesn't bother me because it's just kind of amusing. Like, oh, that's so cute. Look at him talking like a big man. Isn't that funny? But I get attacked for it every once in a while.
Thanks for the $5, Radix, after me begging for super chats in the chat.
Oh, thank you, Radix. Thank you.
I was like, wow, no super. It's a slow super chat day. Seems like a decent question. Feminists are embracing communicating with spirits, but reject God. Can you speak to that? Yeah,
they're satanic. They're satanically inspired. You see this with the Black Lives Matter founders openly talking about the occult aspect of it, that they like commune with demons or spirits, as they call them. That whole African voodoo thing, like the religion of voodoo is about deliberately yoking yourself with demonic spirits. Feminists are obviously inspired by the Jezebel spirit. Oh yeah, thank you, Bobo. Based Homeschool Mom's book, I think is going to talk about this a lot. Feminism is a rejection. It's basically they're mad at their fathers is more or less what it boils down to. And they're just fundamentally ungrateful for the fact that every single thing that brings their life comfort and ease and luxury was built by men. It was designed by men, put there by men, built by men, repaired by men, maintained by men. So it's a combination of a lack of gratitude with just a kind of demonic hostility. But one of the best ways, I think, for them to at least start to realize that something is wrong is if they have the wherewithal to realize how miserable they all are, and they look at someone who's like a wholesome Christian mother and how the joy on her face, the sheer joy she takes in her life, there's no comparison. So I think that's probably why they don't spend a lot of time around Christians, because that joy that the Christian mothers have really brings up their own lack of happiness by comparison, and will force them to kind of face it and encounter it, so to speak.
Yeah. I don't know. Did you talk about the agenda for Montanica live, or was that before we?
No, I talked about it like 5 minutes ago.
Like the breweries and stuff?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's going to be brewery tours. There's a Mount Helena hike. There's a trolley tour at some point. I don't know how much of that I will participate in. I have a busy week this week and a busy week next week, so there's a good chance I'm going to spend a lot of time in the hotel, just reading and chilling and enjoying my little vacation. But I'm sure I'll come out of my cave for something besides the talks.
No hike Witcoff. No hike Witcoff.
I used to hike for a living. I just don't want to hike for 2 hours in the hot sun before I give a speech.
I've hiked with you. We were in Colorado.
That's right. And I remember my wilderness senses kicked in. I said, I think it's going to start raining. Let's head back. And then right as we got back, it started pouring.
It's true.
I was just talking to the abbot earlier this week, actually. He's going to be out here in California soon.
Oh, really?
So brother Joseph, subdeacon Joseph, who used to be Brother Lazarus, has been painting icons for his church. And so the abbot's going to come out and check it out and that kind of thing.
Nice.
Yeah.
We have Audible base only. I've been spamming Witcoff vids all week.
I'm glad you're enjoying it.
Ray says, were you doing the monk thing at that time? No, I pretty much, I was just an oblate with Brother Augustine. Actually, I think I took a break for a little while, but I think I'm going to hop back in it. So,
good. Yeah,
I'm going to talk to the abbot soon.
His mother just died, so he's having a kind of a rough couple of weeks.
Maybe it's a good time to check in then.
Yeah, I'm sure he'd appreciate whatever sort of camaraderie and rapport he can get right now.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do the Eastern hours though, just because I'm going to Eastern Rite.
Yeah, that's what I do.
So
unless I'm either at the monastery or a Western Rite parish, I always do my default is the Eastern stuff for sure.
Okay.
I was trying to sit in this room so you guys could see the icon corner over there, but I don't think it's very visible in this.
No, I can barely see it. But hey, if anybody wants to call in, you want to take some live calls, Brother Augustine?
That's a dangerous game for your channel.
Hey,
people could call up and Fed post, but sure, let's do it. No Fed posting, please.
No Fed posting. But if anybody wants in, hit the link. It's right there. So at least I can see who it is before I click them in.
Oh, so, true.
It is what it. Ray says.
You're going to bring him into the studio.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like phone calls, like audio only. Watch out for Radix. She likes to Fed post and get her.
Why don't you
censored?
Why don't you call on? Why don't you call in?
Yeah, Radix. Yeah, come on.
Radix.
But only if Bobo's there. We want to see Bobo.
We want Bobo. We want Bobo.
We do. I got no Bobo time on my last interview with her. I was very sad. I journaled about it, talked to my therapist. No, I'm just kidding. But we do love Bobo.
Yeah, well, I don't think anybody. Doesn't look like anybody wants to engage. Nobody. They're all afraid. I think it's because they're anti-Semitic. They don't want to talk to you.
I was expecting a live call-in, but I think since it's a video call-in, that kind of
They can turn the
won't be quite
camera
as
on.
funny.
They
Oh,
can
that's
turn the
true. But you can
camera
still
off.
see who it is. But you can still see who it is, though, which kind of takes
Yeah.
the fun prank part of it away.
Based homeschool mom came on last week randomly.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Ray came on. Mulatto Man came on, or Doorman
Mulatto
3.
Man.
I think his name on here is Doorman 360, but
is it Mulatto Man Gabe? Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that was Doorman. Okay.
He's got like 3 different names.
Yeah, no Fed post, but Fed toast is allowed. Audible base, yes. I'll accept toast. I am actually pretty hungry. I just had a big meal and I'm hungry again.
Yeah, let's see. Well, I don't think nobody calls in. We're just gonna have to keep chugging along for 9 more minutes. All
right, hit me with some random questions so I can practice my improv on my toes in case there's a Q&A.
How do we know that you're not still just a Freemasonic Zionist infiltrator?
Oh, I get this question. I get accused of this fairly often. How could I prove to you that I'm not? It's like what I don't know what I'm supposed to present, like a certificate. I mean, I do have a demit from Freemasonry. I did get the demit from the lodge. But when people accuse me, it's kind of like an unfalsifiable accusation because, like, do they want me the grandmaster to call them up and tell them that I'm not part of it anymore? Or, I mean, when you demit, they basically just suspend you for non-payment of dues, and then they just stop bothering you after a while. They do they do still ask me for donations. They keep sending me mail. Like, oh, during COVID, our brothers are in need, blah, blah, blah. I don't care. But I was never a Zionist, so that part of the accusation at least is meaningless.
Fallen student says probably should burn that hat. What hat? My hat? I love the kill stream.
Certainly not my hat, certainly.
Why would I burn my Killstream hat? I've been a fan of Ethan Ralph and the Killstream since 2016 at least, maybe longer. And then I got to be a guest 2 weeks ago, which was pretty cool. So why would I burn this? It's like my souvenir for being a guest.
And it's like debates where people yell at each other, right? Killstream?
They do that a lot, but not every night.
Were you yelling at someone in the debate?
No, I didn't debate anybody. I was just a normal guest, and I did take call-ins, which was fun. So I did get the Israel question, which I get all the time, and I just decided that avoiding it forever just wasn't going to be practical. So
yeah, Dimfna, I'm playing 5D chess on a level that you can't even conceive of. The whole reason I accused you of being an Antifa spy is because I'm an Antifa spy, and I had to go so deep undercover that I had to make it seem like I was suspicious of you. I'm a very experienced undercover agent. That's what I'm saying.
So clearly. You guys like public? What's going on here?
Apparently, no. Yeah, apparently so. It's not a secret. It's okay.
Okay.
She was going to call in and do a funny, like, Australian accent, but if you can see who it is calling in, well, the whole prank aspect of it is. Yeah,
but I could still make this highly amusing if she calls in, but brother Augustine, Radix is calling. On your orthodoxy
must
journey.
Have found Bobo.
Yeah, let's just get Radix. Who cares about Ray's question?
Oh, we'll go back to it. What's up?
Hello.
Sup, Radix?
What's up?
I thought we were going to get some Bobo time.
Yeah, where's Bobo?
She's just like running around doing Bobo stuff. I know that's your favorite, and nobody actually likes me.
Yeah, we're just using you to get to Bobo, really.
Obviously, that's what you guys all do.
Yeah.
Men only want one thing. Bobo.
Don't say it. Okay. I thought you were going to say a different word because it's a cat. I'm glad you didn't say that word.
This is a family program.
Uncalled for.
I was like, is that really where he's going with this? I was all right. This show.
This is a family program. Ray's mad that I didn't do his question. And I see he's like, after all I've done for you, he did save me from Antifa single-handedly.
Oh, that's nice.
He did. He did.
That's
He
nice
knocked him out. I watched him right hook an Antifa.
You know, we started doing jujitsu at my parish. We have a class camp.
Fun.
Yeah, and I'm probably going to start teaching Krav Maga there as well, sooner rather than later.
When are you
There's a
going
lot
to
of
teach me?
I don't even know where you live. I can't teach you on video. If you came to tell you what, when we have our next Tradform event, if we do to the castle, maybe I can be convinced to do a little self-defense seminar on the side.
Yes, do it.
I might be convincible for that. I've never done jujitsu before. I did it last weekend for the first time. It's actually pretty fun. I mean, I'm very worried about getting hurt because I've had a bunch of injuries in my life, and having my neck cranked wasn't fun. But it's interesting. I was thinking about it the whole rest of the day. When I got home, it's like, how did I get in this position? How did I get my neck like this? What could I have done differently? It's like a chess game where you're also fighting each other and trying to choke each other. So it's a good time.
It sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. The only downside to the castle is the capacity maxes out at like 100. So.
What kind of castle maxes out at 100?
Well, because it's like a conference part of it. Like where there's like a reception area.
Oh.
The rest of it is like it's a headquarters.
Well,
with offices.
I mean, the Indiana room could probably have held 200 if we really wanted to.
Yeah, it actually 307.
Oh, what did we have last time? Like 70 or so?
Yeah, we had 70.
Okay, well, we'll have more next time, I'm sure. I would expect basically everyone to come back, plus all the people who've heard about it since then.
Yeah. Maybe we should just stick to I like Indiana, honestly. Maybe we can do 2 events. Maybe we can do like a smaller event in the castle.
Yes.
And then I'm definitely going to be doing a fundraiser for what I can't talk about on this platform. But well, I don't want to get into any trouble.
Can I talk about it on this platform, or are your guests not allowed to mention it either?
It's best.
I'll play it safe.
It's best just.
So we got someone saying Sistema, which is another ground fighting system. Apparently has Orthodox Christian roots because it's Russian. So as a Krav Maga practitioner and teacher, or at least I was before I stopped doing it a few years ago, we never focused on ground fighting except for getting up off the ground. The reason being, if you get in a real street fight with a stranger and you start doing jiu-jitsu and you're trying to find an arm bar or a Kimura or an Americana or something, they can just stab you to death while you're busy worrying about that, and you will not even see the knife before you're dead. So this is what we were always taught. Like, first of all, if you get on the ground at all, you've already done something wrong in a real fight, right? We don't do this thing like jiu-jitsu people where they're just lying on their back with their legs open and wait for you to come down so they can get you in their guard. You don't do this in a street fight. This is very, very stupid. So really, with Krav, you just want to hurt them as much as you have to get away and then run away as soon as you can. Sometimes you have to hurt them a lot. Sometimes you don't have to hurt them that much till they realize that you're actually the aggressor now and not the victim like they thought. Like, I've had to use it in real life before. I don't want to say it's fun because I don't want to promote violence, but I will say that it was nice to see the techniques work in real life. I'll put it that way. I was being choked by someone after being smashed on the head with some weapon. I still don't know what I got hit with. I got cracked open really bad.
Oh my goodness.
I had so much blood in my eye I couldn't see. I had to go get stitches. I mean, my skull was cracked wide open. And after that, someone started choking me. And so I just kind of went into a choke defense. Like, I'd practiced who knows how many hundreds or thousands of times. And it was like in the Matrix where time slows down and you're like, I know Kung Fu. It's like one of those moments, you know? So I was glad that I had practiced all this, that I knew what I was doing, but you never want to end up on the ground in a real fight.
No.
And if I did, I would want to, like jiu-jitsu, you can't punch them. So you can't gouge their eyes or rip their ears. So already half my Krav tools are taken away from me because there's like a ref and it's a sport and it's a game and there's judges and points. So it's very, very different. I wouldn't call jiu-jitsu self-defense, not outside of like an actual competition or something. Because in real self-defense, if you get me in your guard, I'm going to smash your face in. I'm not going to try to like do a fancy escape. I'm going to hurt you until you let go of me. That's what a fight is. But
is that even practical for women? You know, like good way to even
probably not.
Yeah, a good way to even the playing field is to just be armed, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because so, like for women, we're small.
Woman can hurt a big. Well, we do a lot of groin strikes.
Okay.
We do a lot of groin strikes in Krav Maga. So it doesn't matter how big the guy is.
Right. I mean, if you get him in the right spot.
Yeah. I mean,
So-
it hurts more than women will ever understand.
I've
You
done
know,
I've done boxing, mixed martial arts, jiu-jitsu, Brazilian jiu-jitsu, Muay Thai, and Krav Maga.
Mm.
oh,
And-
well, look at you, fancy.
And Hapkido, actually.
Oh,
But,
cool.
which I
That's
suck
the Korean one, right?
at.
Hapkido?
Yeah. It's really
Yeah.
fun, actually. But
The spinning jump kicks and things.
well, it's like moving people, like you're like using the force on their to make them do crazy stuff. But I will say, when I was doing jujitsu at the Gracie Academy, I would like roll with this. I would like kick this giant, like big black dude's ass. He's like 260 pounds, and I'm rolling with him, scrawny 150, and I'm doing good. And then I get to this little like blonde chick who's half my size, and she annihilated me. And I was like, "What is going on?" I think part of it's because like when you're rolling with a woman, you're afraid to like you go softer on them, and then they take advantage of you like completely.
Okay, when I was boxing, I had to spar with a woman once, and it's a total lose-lose situation. Because if you win, of course you won, and if you lose, haha, you got beat by a girl. There's no good outcome. When I wrestled in high school, I weighed 102 pounds. I was in the 103 weight class when I wrestled in high school. The only people on my team I could practice with were the girls or the tiniest little guys.
Yeah.
And as a 14-year-old boy, and I have to like touch women in this weird. It was so uncomfortable, uncomfortable.
By the time
No,
by the time I was doing boxing, I did spar with women, and they were professional boxers.
Oh,
and
well,
I did not take it easy on them. I still kicked their ass. So I learned my lesson because I started with the mixed martial arts and the jiu-jitsu, and then realized I really only like striking and shifted into boxing.
It's so much more fun, isn't it? So we have a comment that Ryan Hall and Matt Serra have used jiu-jitsu in real-world altercations. If you're a black belt, I'm sure you could win a street fight as a jiu-jitsu person, especially if you're Ryan Hall. And you basically just look at someone and then their leg is being ripped off the next second. Like when Ryan Hall, there's a reason that people don't want to fight him. It's because he can end their career in 30 seconds. Like he beat BJ Penn in less than a minute. He just rolls at you. He somersaults at you. And then before you know it, your knee is being ripped out of its socket. So if you're someone like that, sure. And Ryan Hall, of course, is the least athletic looking person in sports, maybe outside of Ben Askren. He just looks like a pothead substitute teacher. And in reality, he's an incredibly smart jiu-jitsu player. But again, I will say for most people, if you are on the ground in a street fight, you're in a very, very bad position.
Now, people are talking about Aikido.
Useless.
I actually did Hapkido, which is basically I think it's like a evolved form of Aikido where they actually add strikes and kicks and.
Well, let me ask you that: how many Aikido people have won a UFC fight using Aikido?
Never
Zero.
Gonna happen.
Because it looks really cool, and it works against people who know how they're supposed to move against you, right? Like a black belt Aikido person is still going to lose to someone who's just really violent and knows how to attack you and overwhelm you with force. Yep. It looks cool. Like, what's that guy's name? That actor, is a black belt Aikido guy, very famous. I can't even blank on his name. Steven Seagal.
Yes.
But that doesn't. Maybe it would work against someone completely untrained in real life. But I still say Krav Maga is the best thing you're going to have for a street fight.
I think Muay Thai is my favorite. Like if I could just like go pick a gym, but I'm in West Virginia, I'm in the boonies. There are no gyms. If I could just like go do it tomorrow, I'd probably either do boxing or Muay Thai just because that's what I like. Not because of I carry a pistol, so I really don't care about that.
Well, you also got to know how to stand with the gun so it doesn't get disarmed. Because a good cross student, if you're dumb enough to hold the gun to their head, like you're seeing in the movies trying to intimidate them, your finger's going to be broken and you're going to be getting beaten to death with the butt of your own gun.
Well, I trained on that too.
Far away from them.
I trained on that too. So
that's true. Because you were in the Army, right?
Yeah, but that's not where I learned pistol stuff.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, we only used. I actually learned some of that with Krav, and then I did. Believe it or not, we trained on it in karate too. So I did everything, dude.
Yeah, I think I did. I mean, karate is good for discipline and learning how your body works and balance, and it's probably good for your mind. But the only real, how many UFC champions have used karate? There's Lyoto Machida, who was the least hit fighter in the UFC for a while. But then John Jones basically killed him on his feet. I don't know if you ever saw that choke out. Have you ever seen that one? John Jones versus
No.
It's ugly. It looks like he's dead. It's the worst choke out I've ever seen.
Here comes Ray virtue signaling.
It's better than martial
arts, guys?
I mean, he's not wrong. He's not wrong. But if you have kids or a wife to protect, you can't just start doing the Jesus prayer at the guy with the gun and expect him to go away.
Yeah.
That's
Maybe
true.
You could. Maybe you could. I don't know. It's a good first thing to try, probably. Or you just say it to yourself while you're beating his face in, because you don't want to do it from a place of anger. Because if you're angry in a fight, you're probably going to lose anyway.
But here's another. This
That's
is
a good
actually
point.
kind of ties into what we were talking to earlier. One of the objections I have to an Orthodox Christian taking some of these martial arts is the whole like Buddhist, like the meditating in the beginning, the bowing to the. That's not cool. Which is why I like the boxing and the Muay Thai, because we didn't do that crap.
Yeah, the Far Eastern ones, especially the higher up the rankings you go, there is like some spirit worship and stuff involved. I mean, it gets a cult at the highest levels of martial arts for sure.
Oh my
Some martial arts.
gosh.
Yeah.
For real?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not a secret.
Oh, I didn't know that. Well,
Asians love their ancestor worship and stuff like this, and I mean, it's part of it for sure.
They do have, if you want your kid now, Taekwondo's fun.
Yeah.
So if you want your kid to do Taekwondo, there's like Christian versions of it.
Really?
I don't think the belts are recognized like on the World Taekwondo or whatever thing, but who cares?
Well, we're calling our jiu-jitsu at church Byzantine jiu-jitsu, so we've baptized it. It's Orthodox now.
Well, my daughter did Taekwondo for a little bit, and now she's going to be homeschooled.
Nice.
Which is exciting and cool. And we ordered these books. I forget the name of the author, but they're incredible. They're for children, for like 8-year-olds. And they're amazing. Like they explain how like the government and bureaucracy is corrupt, and they do it in a way that like makes sense to 8-year-olds. And then they have these books where when she gets a little older, she will do, and they have these different scenarios that you pick. And depending on what scenario you pick, like it tells you like what ends up happening, right? So there's different like conclusions to like your actions. So you're learning about like how to make good decisions and what the consequences of certain ones are, which I think is fantastic. Like I look through these books and I'm like, this is nothing like, they have one on the Federal Reserve. They have one on like, it's just so cool. I was like, this is nothing like what they would teach you in public school for sure.
When I have kids and I want to teach them how the government works, I'm just going to start taking their stuff away. And when they say it's not fair, I'll say, you're right, but I'll hurt you if you don't give me your stuff. So that's how the government works. Welcome to adulthood. You are grown now.
Wait,
I might have to look more into Systema. Everyone's talking about Systema. So knives. Too much coffee. Knives are by far the most dangerous weapon that you're going to face. I am much more afraid of a knife than of a gun. A gun can only hurt you with a bullet or by hitting you with it. But you put a knife in the hand of a child and they can just swing it around and accidentally kill themselves or their dog or another child by accident, because it can hurt you from any direction that it comes at you at. And if you're fighting someone with a knife, it's incredibly hard to see. You're probably not even going to see it before they stab you half the time. And if they do lunge at you, there's a very limited number of things you can do, especially if they know what they're doing. So I am much more afraid of a knife than I am of a gun.
Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, guns are actually way less intimidating to disarm.
Yeah. Much easier to take away, because you can't grab a knife to take it away. You're going to cut your hand.
You can also pretty easily get out of the danger zone with the knife, because if you're, not the barrel's not facing,
Yeah. But then you have to also, when you're disarming a gun, you also have to think about, what direction you take it in and what angle you take it at depends on who's behind you too and what side they're on. So you have to be aware of more stuff behind you.
Yeah.
You don't want to take the barrel away from your own head and then have it shooting someone off to your left, for example.
Now, one of my instructors made a good point. If they're showing you the gun and they're not asking you to go anywhere and they're just asking for your wallet, they've already said, hey, I don't want to kill you. So just give them your wallet. Comply. Now, if they say, follow me,
Never
do it, because what that means is they want to kill you, just not right here.
Yeah. If you find yourself in the trunk of a car, just start praying because it's over.
Yeah.
Yes, I think so.
Yeah. So I got mugged at gunpoint once. I was out. I was like a week.
I was just
removed.
hungry, dude. I just wanted $5 for a sandwich, and you wouldn't give it to me the normal way. So what choice did you leave me? No, I'm just kidding. I'm gonna run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
Let me just say, it wasn't the same demographics as Witcoff.
Mike, can you and Radix take the call for a few minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Right,
What's up, Radix?
I'll be right
What's up, Radix? How's PB Patriot Soapbox going?
PSB. It's an easy acronym. It's just like the opposite of PBS. Well, sort of. You just switch it around. So every time I tell people about it or send them links, they automatically read it as PBS, and they're like, "Oh, you're with them," and I'm like, "What? No, PSB, Patriots Soapbox."
PBJ.
Yeah.
PBJ.
Yeah,
I deleted that app because I just hate that app. And then yeah. Sorry about that, Radix. Sorry.
What?
Remember I was gonna do.
You deleted it?
Yeah.
What? Oh my gosh.
I keep getting the emails from the lady following up with me.
And you don't answer?
No, because I don't have the app on my phone. I don't want to put it back on.
You could at least email her back.
I don't know how.
You know how to respond to an email. You're just lazy.
I figured I'd just tell you. I'll just tell Radix.
You don't want to be held accountable because you're scared Aaron will yell at you.
I'm telling you now, Radix. I'm telling you now.
Okay, I will tell the ladies to leave you alone.
That's all right. I can't I can barely keep up with doing my show at random times now.
Yeah, it is very hard. Like, well, I have an afternoon show, and 7 to 9 is very difficult though, because it's like that's when my daughter goes to bed. So I have a very difficult time with that, but she's usually still up now by the time I get done. So now she's still up at 9 o'clock because she's getting older.
I could co-host if somebody needs whatever, like a guest, but
okay.
Like if you ever have a night off and you want somebody to just go shoot the shizzle on. You gonna
give me a night off? You'll give me a break?
I don't know. Maybe I shouldn't.
I don't think this is a good idea for you.
What did I miss here?
Michael's offering to volunteer time to give me a break on my show to take over some co-hosting time.
I'm just saying. I mean, every now and then, if whatever. If Patrick Howley can do it,
Howley does it every week. Howley does it every week. He goes once a week.
Patrick Howley's on your show, Radix?
On our channel. Yeah, he has a show. His show is every Sunday. It's Sunday, right? His show is Sunday nights. He does it 6. Yeah, it's Sunday from 6 to 8 p.m. Patrick Howley with National File, of course.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know he was on your show, on your channel. That's cool.
Yeah.
We love Patrick. He's really been getting a little red-pilled lately. Well, he's been mask off lately.
Yeah. He has been mask off recently.
He has.
You know, when the hammer comes down and we're all in the camps together, at least we can keep each other amused with red-pill jokes, right?
That's true. Yeah.
Unless they might put us in a solitary like the Jan 6 people, but hopefully not.
Well, exactly. I mean, that's just insane. I'm actually going to be having one of the lawyers for one of the January 6 people on the channel to talk about what's happening. You know, they're hog tying people together and then beating them in the prisons. They're hog tying them together. They're tying them to each other and then they beat them. Well,
that's very concerning, but I just noticed something even more concerning. Is your hair purple in your avatar?
No.
Yeah, it is.
No, it isn't.
Mike, you see purple here? Yeah.
Nah, I think you're colorblind, bro.
I don't know. That's looking purple to me.
My Gab profile picture. You go click on it and see it like
on the grand scale of things that are concerning. There's like hog tying prisoners, and then like women with purple hair is just.
I am not purple hair, and I never have been, except once as a teenager in a goth phase.
Wow, you had
okay. Wow. The truth is coming out now, isn't it? The truth is coming out now. I actually I had purple frosted tips briefly in 7th grade, so I can't.
Frosted tips.
I did. They made these brushes where you squeeze the handle and some dye comes out, so you can just like brush it in. Those? Yeah, I did.
Oh my gosh!
I was looking fly as a 13-year-old.
I actually remember those. They had them for girls too, where you would like do these little bleach streaks, and then you could color the streaks.
Based? No, I'm just kidding. Not based.
There is no equality. Sorry.
No, it's not a thing that exists. The only way in which we're equal is that we are equally sinful and equally loved by God. That's it. We're equally sinners in God's eyes. There's no other sense in which any two humans are equal. And by the way, they've never even attempted to explain how two people could be equal, much less entire groups of people. The whole movement is based on wordplay and then not defining what they're actually talking about.
Right, that's right.
One of your guys says, I can't imagine Witcoff with frosted tips. I've shown these before. Let me see if I can find my old hair pictures. Here's
the next hit piece. Michael Witcoff appears on MichaelSisco's stream and says equality doesn't exist.
Good.
Let's go.
I mean, am I wrong? Okay, you guys, you want to see what I look like with hair and no beard?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
It's an old photo, but
I think I've seen this.
It was nothing like you.
I also have, let's see. This was me in college.
Oh my gosh. Unrecognizable.
Yeah. I had my nice Jew curls going for sure.
Indeed.
And then this was the fanciest haircut. This was like fresh out of the barber, clip the beard, clip the hair, looking super fly right there. I was thinking I was 26, maybe 27.
That actually looks like you.
Yeah. Come
Ray,
on, Ray, don't be gay on that stream. Ray, this is a no homosexuality stream, please.
Oh my goodness. Ray
says he likes 5 guys. 5 guys, man.
He's given us a lot of clues here, isn't he? These aren't even clues at this point. These are just coming. Ray, is this the first time you've come out of the closet? And thank you for choosing Mike's show to go public.
You know, he starts going to a Western Rite parish, and now suddenly he likes 5 guys. And
you know why? You know why? You know what the first step was? Was they made him clip his beard to go to the Western Rite, I bet.
Yeah.
It's the beardlessness. Beardlessness leads to homosexual behavior.
This is true. I can confirm.
Yeah. What are you saying? You don't have a beard. What are you saying? Oh, that was a telling giggle, wasn't it? Anyway, the Western Rite, they should also have you wear a beard, even though their priests have much shorter beards than big ones, I've noticed. But a man should have a long beard. Period.
Or at least a full one.
Okay, this hasn't really been working out for me, bro. It's not
No beard equals woman.
No, I think not.
Oh, I thought he meant no beard equals no woman. I'm like, oh well.
That's also true though. Most of the time, that is also true. Like I said on my stream yesterday, a man who shaves his beard for a woman deserves neither.
That's true.
So you guys,
that sounds right.
You hear it right from the mouth of a whammon.
I would never shave. That would be like the ultimate form of cuckoldry, to just shave because a woman wanted me to shave.
It
like
really
that.
It's a test. It's a test.
Yeah, like no, not happening. I trim for like my work that people don't know I have.
That's just halfway to sodomy, dude. Tell them no.
Well, whatever. I like the way I wear it, so.
Well, once you get the stash out more, you can have more of the Saint Tsar Nicholas.
Look
style.
At that.
Yeah, right.
That is pretty cool.
Thank you. I used to wear it down at the trad forum. It's down like this, and then I realized that doesn't have to be that way. Life could be different. And so I started brushing it. I thought, oh, That actually holds. I mean, I don't have any gel in my beard right
looks
now.
pretty
It holds
cool.
well. Thank you. I want to look like a 17th century villain, like a Victorian villain, like a bank
Yeah.
robber, or like the Guy Fawkes mask, but without an actual mask.
Right. And not being gay.
And also, yeah, not being a Catholic. Obviously, I think Guy Fawkes was Catholic. The original Guy Fawkes, the real one.
Ray says, I got to show you my old military pics. Unrecognizable. Well, I wasn't allowed to have a facial hair. Also, I don't think I could grow it back then. I was really young.
Also, yeah. I mean, if you're a young guy, there's a little bit more leeway just because you don't have the hormones for it or whatever, perhaps.
Yeah, well, I don't. I remember like towards the end of my military time, like when I would go on leave, I could grow it out too. But then you can only get it a little before you have to go back on duty, and then
do you know Alan Thrall?
The name sounds familiar.
He runs a big fitness and strength powerlifting YouTube channel. Once he got out of the Marines, he has not shaved since. So he's just got this giant beard and super long hair. And I guess when guys get out of that and they're allowed to not shave, some of them just never want to do it again.
That's what happened to me, basically. I got out and I stopped shaving. Jay Evola says Jay Dyer ain't gotten a beard and he's the most handsome man.
Why is this the gay stream all of a sudden, man?
Right.
I've never heard so much male complimenting other males like this. I guess handsome is okay.
This is weird. I mean,
it is a little weird.
It's like the third or fourth time in the last hour and a half alone.
Jay can't be he's a genius, but he can't be a church father until he grows a beard.
I mean, if this stream continues like this, Giacomo's going to start promoting you as a fan instead of as a hater.
I know. He's going to be like, turn around.
He's going to change his mind about us.
Ray, Hawaiian shirts are not gay, okay? Hawaiian shirts are...
I mean, they're not gay.
Nah, they're right. They're for right-wing extremists, just like me, okay?
I guess so.
Yeah.
You know, I think it takes a real man to wear pink. And I was at liturgy one day, and this little 5-year-old gave me like a pink pipe cleaner bracelet that she'd made. It was hot pink, and I was wearing an all black outfit, and I thought that looks super dope. So I went on Amazon to immediately buy a hot pink watch that I thought would go great with this all black outfit. I was very excited about this. Not everyone in my life was excited about it. You know who you are. I was very excited about it. And I bought this watch on Amazon that I was super stoked for. And then it shows up, it's just the watch bands. I was deceived by the photo on Amazon. Now I have to buy an actual watch just to dismantle it so I can put the pink straps on it. It's very unfortunate.
Lame.
Now I have to do the work. I paid Amazon so that I could go do the work.
That's how Amazon works.
You hate to see it.
Oh,
I have to
Rano.
buy a Fitbit or something. I have to buy a Fitbit just to dismantle it.
Ooh.
I know. I mean, I was surprised that the watch would only cost $9. So maybe in retrospect, I should have looked at the product description a little bit more carefully. But the picture showed a full watch.
That's how Amazon gets you, though. Their pictures never line up to reality with the products, usually.
No. Well, I used to be a copywriter. I'd write Amazon ads all the time, product descriptions. And I always tried to do a good job, represent the product honestly with some, emotional poking to try and get people to buy it. And one of my ads sold like $400,000 worth of the product. And you know what I got for it? $400 because I didn't think to do royalties at the time. I got paid $400. I write this ad for this electric skateboard. They went off and made a ton of money. And I just had my little $400. I know. It's very
that's lame.
I know.
Did Jeff Bezos get stuck in space, or is he still?
He didn't go to space. He didn't actually leave the atmosphere, I don't think. I think he just got close to it and then came back down. I think.
Really?
I mean, I only see the stuff on Gab scrolling through because I literally watch zero news. I don't care what any of these people are doing, but sometimes I see it in my Gab feed. I think that's what I saw.
I was hoping he would just get stuck up there and never come back, but
well,
could only be so lucky.
I mean,
student,
as much as I don't like Bezos, Amazon is very convenient, and I buy stuff there like multiple times a week.
Oh my gosh!
I know. I have to confess about it, but they deliver things to my house the next day.
There's an
Prime-
alternative.
Prime is
There's-
so great. Prime is 2-day delivery.
Sometimes it's next day delivery. What am I supposed to do?
I-
Take a week to buy something just so I don't give Jeff money?
I canceled mine. There's let's see. There's an alternative. I'm pulling it up, but I think it's just books for now. But hang on.
There should be an alternative.
So,
Sophie's Voice is a good alternative for books.
Jay Dyer
Sophie's
just posted a comment that I have no idea what it means or what it's referring to, but I'm going to read it live on your stream. He says, dude, couldn't you ask for a better debate than a Uniate apologist melting down and farting on a live stream? I don't know what that means. I don't know who he's talking about or what happened, but I felt like that was worth reading.
I have a more
Deeply
serious
profound.
question. I have a more serious question
Let's hear it.
from Ray.
Oh.
Are you a flat earther?
I'm a don't care what shape the earth is, or I don't see how it's relevant to my salvation what shape the earth is. Here's all I will say about the shape of the earth is that I haven't studied it in any depth, and so I'm open-minded to whatever shape it may be, but no, I'm not a dogmatic flat earther. I don't know. I've never been to space and then turned around and looked out the window. I don't see why it matters, frankly.
My firmament.
You're a firmamenter? Firmament earther?
No, I just said my firmament.
Oh, yeah, exactly. I mean, the Bible, I think it does describe the earth as a flat slice, if you will, with a dome on top of it. I think that's how most religions have described it. Maybe. I mean, I don't know.
Who knows?
It's not a hill to die on, certainly.
Yeah, that's
now
true.
the moon landing is different. I'm not convinced we landed on the moon, but that doesn't mean that I'm a flat earther. And the reason I don't believe we went to the moon is because if you listen to the NASA scientists explaining why we've never been back, they're so transparently lying. I don't know how they're keeping a straight face. Have you seen the video, you guys?
Yeah.
I forgot the guy's name. He says, well, we destroyed all the technology afterwards, and it would just be such a pain to build it again. We just haven't gone back. I don't believe that for a second.
We lost all the what is it, the telemetry data or whatever.
Yeah.
They lost the data.
Yeah, it's like,
it was in a
we wanted
storage cabinet and somebody just threw it out.
We wanted to tape the Super Bowl. We accidentally used the same VHS. I mean, what are we supposed to do now? It's just gone forever. Come on. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They just left it lying around. It got knocked off the table, and now it's just dead. Yeah, that is what it stands for. If you know this, NASA stands for fake and gay. Mm-hmm. This is one of the many secrets of NASA that they don't tell you in public. Mikey, thick earth witch. Yes, I am a thick earther. Exactly.
That's one of the Mason secrets about the moon and NASA.
That it stands for fake and gay. Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's actually the 33rd degree. That's what they explain to you.
Knew it.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Filioque.
Mm-hmm.
All right, guys. I gotta go. I need to go to the grocery store to get my black beans and a red bell pepper to make this thing with cauliflower rice that will make it not bland.
That's code. That's code for she's going to pick up more hair dye before that purple fades.
I was 12 and I listened to the Smiths and the Misfits and Echo and the Bunnymen. That was a thing, but I was never
Echo and the Bunnymen.
I was never gay. The Misfits, Danzig. I mean, come on.
But you were never gay? Was that the caveat you threw in? Well, now you're on the gay stream, so you are just by association with these commenters. You have become a homosexual.
That's true.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ray.
Yeah. Time to confess. You were like, well, Father, I was on this stream and just turned gay and I didn't leave. And I guess that means I'm gay too now. Thick Jews on Mars. Yeah. That'll be my band name someday. Thick Jews on Mars.
I'm not forgetting that, Ray. I know, and I'm telling the girls too.
Milo
in trouble.
Milo posted a funny meme today where it's like a map of the southern United States, and he says, just convert all the border states to Israel, to Jewish, and then we'll finally protect our border.
Yeah, I saw that. Did he come up with that meme? I saw it on someone else's feed. I actually saved it to my camera roll.
He probably appropriated it.
Just to prove I'm not lying, I literally saved that meme to my camera roll. But I don't know. I don't remember who originally posted it.
But we love Israel. We
do, of course.
We love the Jewish people. And
Well,
Michael,
we love all people.
Michael Witcoff is my favorite. In fact, the reason I have Michael Witcoff on so much is because I just love Jewish people. This is why he's
right.
You are my most frequent guest. I think you've been on more than anybody.
He's just using me so he can say, I'm not racist. I have a Jewish friend. I know.
That's right.
Yeah.
And he can say he did a mitzvah or whatever.
That's right. That's right. A mitzvah, a good deed.
I dated a Jewish guy for like 3 years when I was in high school. And that's the one thing I remember is his mom telling me that about the mitzvahs or something.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. She was a sleep eater. She literally ate in her sleep.
How do you do that?
She's a sleep eater.
But
I shouldn't say that, but she like in the middle of the night, she'd get up and she'd like sleepwalk, and then she would open up bags of chips and eat like half the bag.
Oh, no.
And yeah, she wouldn't even know until like half the bag was gone. Then she kind of sort of like wake up.
You know, I wish I were
sleep eating is a thing.
I wish I were a sleep lifter where I would sleepwalk to my gym and just get huge. And then I just wake up with a pump and I'm just massive. That would be cool. And that would save me a lot of time during the day too. I'm going to work on that. Sleep lifting.
Sleep lifting.
Maybe that'll be my band name, Sleep Lifter. But I'll never explain what it means.
All right. Good night, guys.
All right. I'll see you later, Alex. I got to get going pretty soon, Mike, too. I got maybe a couple more minutes, too.
No, I think we're good, man. Can you just remind everyone where they can go to get their Montanica tickets?
Assuming there are some tickets remaining, if you go to theorthodoxacademy.com/Montanica, you can buy your ticket to come see me and many other Orthodox Christians, including clergy, speak at Carroll College in Helena, Montana. Was that my Russian name? Mikhail Witkoff. I mean, I am Russian, so you're not wrong. I'm Russian-German. theorthodoxacademy.com/Montanica, and we will have a good time, I'm sure. I may or may not join you on the trolley tours and brewery. Oh, there's a brewery tour as well. There's lots of tours and activities that Father Deacon has graciously planned for us. Flights are expensive. Hotels are expensive. Rental cars out there are very expensive. So the sooner you get your ticket, the sooner you make reservations, the cheaper all of this will be. And I hope to see you all out there.
All right. And thank you all for watching. See you next week. Don't know what I'm doing. Who the guest will be, we'll find out. Thank you for coming back on, Brother Augustine.
Of course.
Always a pleasure. Thank you. Hopefully we see each other again soon. Maybe we'll do some sort of Who knows? Things are crazy now. So
Deus Vult, whatever God wills.
Yep. Adios.
All right. See you, everybody.